This feels so good. Man, I love this transmission. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going over the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Laredo. Check out the inventory in the description down below. This one and several others are available for sale right now if you're interested. On a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 293 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. And something that I find hilarious, I just reviewed an Overland before this. It has an engine cover, but I guess that the Laredo isn't fancy enough to have an engine cover. That's funny. Now let's go to the front end of this Laredo. So first off, we have the signature Grand Cherokee hood that's flat in the center and then kind of dips down off to the side. Jeep logo right there. And then notice the orange running light and with the LED headlights. We have Jeep signature front grille here with chrome accenting all around. And then not a lot happening down here. No fog lights or anything, but looks pretty cool. But again, this is more of like a basic package, and well, there you go. Coming around the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And because we have these smaller sized wheels, you guys can see we've got a decent amount of sidewall here on the tire, which is great. Now, here's a quick look at the tread pattern there on the tire, and then got the standard suspension that comes with the new Grand Cherokee. Notice here with the fender flares, which is perfect for this car because it's like darker, so it kind of like all matches, right? Because this one's black. Notice with the Grand Cherokee logo there on the side, and then you can see with the mirrors, those are body painted, and then you can see that chrome trim that kind of goes all the way to the rear. And here's your full side view, and I love the proportions here on the new Grand Cherokee. Here's our key fob for the Laredo. You can see you've got the unlock function, the lock function, remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. But you can also just come here and press that button, and then that'll pop the hatch right open. Now, popping inside here, you can see we've got a ton of storage space. We have our 12 volt here off to the side. But because we don't have the third row of the Grand Cherokee L, it's all storage space, which is great. And then notice here at the spare tire underneath. And then when you're all done, you just have this button right here that you press and it'll close it right down. There's also a handle so you can like manually fold it down if you want. But if you got a power hatch, just use it. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see again with that silver trim that continues into the back. And then here's a quick look at the taillights. And I love how the taillights kind of go into this black trim piece that goes into the Jeep logo. Laredo badge there off to the side, 4x4 badge. Parking sensors here. And then if it's equipped with a tow hitch, then it'll be under a bezel here in the back. And there you go. Now here's the door panel in the rear. We've got some darker trim here at the top, and then you have some nice padding with some stitching down below that. Door lock and unlock, and then our little window control right there on the speakers for the sound system. And then here are the seats. So we've got these nice cloth seats. This is the function to fold down the seat, but you can also use it to like recline the seat as well, hence the kind of like little picture there. But yeah, really nice cloth seats here, and it's actually pop in. So legroom. Headroom's great, and then notice here with the little netting, and then we got some vents here for the rear passengers, a bunch of, well, charging ports, and so you got a full outlet. And then notice here with the cup holder armrest, and let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see here with the darker trim again, and then you got the padding down below that. All of our window controls here, notice the front two are automatic. Got your mirror adjustments. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here are the front seats. So again with the cloth trim, and notice the stitching throughout, and the cloth trim in the center portion. All of your power adjustments there on the side with the lumbar. And then here's the down below. Hood latch release, and then you got your parking brake up above that. And then we have our light control right here, and then notice here with the stitching. And let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. We've got nice padding all around, and then you can see the stitching there in the center, and then look at the silver trim that kind of goes around, but then you've got like dark metallic gray trim right there. Got a nice Jeep logo down the center. This does have adaptive cruise control, paddle shifters in the back with radio controls down below the paddle shifters. We We have our phone controls for the center stack, and then also our turn signal stock, and then our windshield wiper stock, and there's a steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. So first off, we can scroll through different bits of info here on the Laredo. Pretty straightforward stuff. Animation looks pretty cool actually on it, and it's cool that in this, you know, quote unquote base model package still have the digital gauge cluster, so just makes it feel like you're getting a little bit more value for the money that you paid. Up top here, we've got our auto stop start, lane departure, stability control, hazard lights, parking sensors, and then this is for your sport mode to turn it on, and it'll actually pop on right here. So you got auto and sport, right? You can go between. And then here's the infotainment system. So first off, if we pop into reverse, we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Got that zoom function as well. Resolution's solid. As for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, you guys can see we've got heated seats for the front, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate. We got the shortcut bar here at the bottom that has really good response time. You can scroll through different menus to see different bits of info, customize stuff, you know, all the works, but very nicely integrated into the dash, and I think they did a great job. Speaking of the dash, it's actually soft touch here, and then notice we have like more stitching there across, and then more of that metallic gray trim. And then down below, we've got analog controls for the heated seats and heated steering wheel, climate controls as well, and then you can see here with the radio controls, and then here's with the USB, and then we've got our little 12 volt there, wireless phone charger, and you can cover it up with that tab. And then here is the shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. And then we've got a couple of cup holders right here. And then with the center console, it's got 2 different tabs that you can open up. Normal glove box, nothing crazy happening with that. And then popping up to the very top, you can see here pretty normal, nothing crazy happening, but we have lights. Got a manual mirror dimmer. There you go. So here's our window sticker for this Laredo. You can see the base price, $40,000. And then here is all the stuff that you get with it as standard equipment. It comes with quite a bit of tech and stuff. Anyways, we've got our optional equipment right here. Main thing, this one has the trailer tow prep group, right? And then you also have the luxury tech group 1 as well. And after all options, total MSRP is $44,610. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors, which do it, blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear, and set off. So, setting off in the Grand Cherokee Laredo, and I think this is going to be the package that most people get, this and the limited. Obviously people go for the limited if they don't want to have cloth seats, right? But this is a great value package, but we'll talk about how it drives, and we'll kind of talk about my thoughts on the package as a whole. So first off, torquey V6. This 8-speed automatic transmission is phenomenal. It's very quick to shift, it's very smooth, and it's a great pairing with this vehicle. And you know, as an entry-level engine, I think it does a fantastic job. Now kind of coming through here, I just drove an air suspension Grand Cherokee right before this. It was an Overland, and you can definitely feel the difference. This is still a very smooth SUV, but it's not as smooth as the air suspension that you can get with the Grand Cherokees. So yeah, it's cool to be able to actually perceive a difference. Some vehicles, not necessarily, but this, yeah, you can actually perceive a difference. Road noise, pretty minimal as well. You do get a little bit from the tires, but not a crazy amount. And you know, seat comfort's actually really good as well. So I think they've done a good job with that. Pop it into the sport mode. Yeah, you can just kind of ride on the torque. And this feels pretty quick to me, probably because I am daily driving a Toyota 4Runner this week. It's one of the press cars, and this feels like a rocket ship compared to the 4Runner. My goodness. They have similar power outputs, but the 4Runner just has such an old transmission. This feels so good. Man, I love this transmission. Okay, so yeah, let's kind of sum things up for the Laredo. First off, I think it looks great on the outside, especially when you compare this to the last generation. This looks so much better. Interior with this is also really nice. Again, you got to remember, this is like our quote-unquote entry-level package. They have done a phenomenal job with the interior. And then from a driving dynamics perspective, yeah, this doesn't drive as good as an air suspension Grand Cherokee, but it's also a heck of a lot cheaper, $20,000 cheaper than the Grand Cherokee that I drove that had air suspension. That's a lot of money, right? It's like half the price of this vehicle. So yeah. Anyways, moving along. I think this is a great value. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate. You've got like basically all the tech you need. Adaptive cruise control. You've got blind spot monitoring. Like, this has all the safety tech that you'd want as a great daily driver vehicle. So basically, if you want the best value play with new Grand Cherokee, that's what the Laredo gives you. And it's not like you're getting, you know, like in the past when you get like a, you know, quote unquote base model vehicle, you wouldn't get a lot with them. Whereas this is like a full-blown luxury car compared to, you know, even like luxury cars like 20 years ago. So yeah, I think they did an amazing job with this, and I think this is the one to go for. And like I said, I think most people are going to be purchasing these Laredos. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with the Laredo. Check out their inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.